warning of possible Iranian drone attacks on our homeland. A new alert reviewed by ABC News revealing Iran's aspirations to conduct a surprise attack specifically against unspecified targets in California. So why California? Why the West?
It's not clear why the West Coast as opposed to the East Coast, but that's what the alert from the FBI says.
Iran is planning to attack California. This coming out from the FBI in the past hour today, March 11, 2026. Take a look at the latest headlines and video footage that has just been coming out from this announcement. The FBI warns that Iran could attack California with drones. Report says we're hearing that they have received information that this is the plan, that they are planning to hit the West Coast, specifically California. Take a look at another one that has just come out. You can see this just within the past hour. FBI warns Iran may have planned retaliatory West Coast drone attacks. The report says they're saying this is as a result of the war that is currently unfolding. FBI warns Iran aspired to attack California with drones in retaliation for the war. An alert says, and take a look at this. U.S. is on top of possible Iran sleeper cells. Trump says, as they know that there is a threat to the homeland at this time. I'm going to play for you the video footage of Donald Trump acknowledging this in the last 24 hours. Sleeper cells bringing war to America is a reality, security experts say. Now, I'm going to share with you the latest coming out articles, video footage on the breaking news that we're hearing that there is a attack that has been planned for California, for the West Coast. And let me know, are you concerned about this? We've heard the warnings of sleeper cell attacks here in the United States, of attacks coming to the homeland. January 26th, the FBI, the Homeland Security, they released information regarding attacks on U.S. soil as a result of the United States entering into a war. And that is exactly the rumors that we have been hearing about right now. We've heard Iran threaten the United States. We've heard that the sleeper cells have been officially activated. Now, I've heard rumors, I have not been able to verify it yet, that they're saying that they believe that as soon as today, Wednesday, March 11th, or tomorrow, Thursday, March 12th, we could see potential acts of terror attacks on U.S. soil from the initiation, the activation of sleeper cells, and this coming out from the FBI, that they are saying it is being confirmed. It's coming out all across the headlines. We're likely going to hear more about it today, that there is a planned attack against California.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, HaKodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the 144,000, the hopeful elect, Shalom, Barakathum. First precept that comes to mind is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, or is it 2 Thessalonians? Yep, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, okay, verse 1. Okay, but of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. So there is an audience that the Apostle Paul is speaking to, okay? And it wasn't all of Thessalonica, okay? It wasn't every single Greek. It's been opened up to all nations. There were Israelites among them, okay, that were aware of particular things that were prophesied, okay? And so this is the positive message for us, is that if you're of this elect, man, if you were sincere, you've been putting in you've made a sincere investment into Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, then the Lord is going to remember you, man, okay, in the evil days. But as for the rest of these people, okay, look, verse 3, it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And this is a theme that we hear about. People laxed at ease, thinking shit sweet. The Lord ain't gonna come back. The Lord is far off. There ain't no God. You know, the usual rhetoric that you hear, and this is a consequence of normalcy bias, which I had looked up recently when I was listening to Apostle Tahar, I believe a couple of weeks ago, mentioned this. You know, this is a term that is very relevant to today, man. You look at the definition, these people are arrested, man. Okay, this is the wall of unwalled villages, and that's why sleeper cells are going to hit. I even highlighted a comment on this video, if you could have saw it earlier. Okay, look, OBS, fearmonger, okay? You see people like that, they going to get clipped and bad, and it's most likely going to be public, okay? because the Lord is poetic in his justice. Okay, it says normalcy bias is a cognitive bias causing people to underestimate the possibility of impact of disasters. Okay, falsely believing that things will continue as they always have. Okay, and this is what the 99% of Americans have. Okay, they're just NPCs going to work. They're acting like nothing is happening. Okay, this will all go away soon. Okay, America will solve it. Okay, or it'll go away on its own. Okay, they just plug their ears and go back to work on the plantation. Okay, it says this leads to dangerous paralysis like inaction during crises. Okay, and that's exactly what's going to happen. They're literally going to look up and ask, what should we do? Instead of preparing, knowing, okay, the average person cannot operate without their smartphone. Okay, they're addicted to their smartphone. They can't navigate around their own city. They don't know east from west. Okay, they don't know about herbs, medicines. They don't have any emergency kits. Okay, they don't even have savings in their savings account. Okay, they don't know how to fight. They don't know how to how to forage for food. What are they gonna do, man? Okay, and this is why the charagma, it will be the perfect solution for the sheep. Okay, the sheep I'm referring to as these dopey headed Babylonians, man. Okay, and it says as the brain struggles to process unprecedented threatening information. See, they just thought, oh, that can't be what's happening. They just can't believe America will get hit. And they think if it does get hit, it's going to be a one-off somewhere. No, all hell's going to break loose everywhere here, man. Okay? And then it's going to get nuked. Thus saith Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. It says overcoming it requires creating contingency plans, accepting that the future won't mirror the past. See, people are gonna have issues with that. They're not gonna be able to believe it. He says accepting the future won't mirror the past and trusting intuition over the desire for normalcy. All right. You see, people think like that. Okay. I forget where that precept is. Let me just go to that Zephaniah real quick. Cross-reference may have it. All right? And you got to stay in these precepts, man. Study, okay? Don't slack. This is the worst time to slack, man. Speaking to myself as well. Zephaniah 1:12, it says, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles. Jerusalem is a people before a place. So this is talking about the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's not your real name. Okay, you're descendants of Jacob. Okay, you're the Israelites. Okay, and the Lord says He's going to search us with candles. What does that mean? All right, it don't mean literally candles. Okay, it says, as a matter of fact, let me get the precept to back that up. There. Jeremiah 17:9, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? And see, these people's heart is going to deceive them into thinking that this is just a bump in the road when it's not. Your flesh just wants to put things off and put things off. It'll take the pleasure now and the pain later. Okay, but eventually that comes to inevitable pain and unbearable pain. Okay, and it says, verse 10, the main point, our Lord Yahweh searched the heart. Okay, so when it says He searches Jerusalem with candles, He's searching the minds. He's seeing if you're right. Okay, it says, I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. This is what is getting ready to happen, a reckoning. Okay, going back, Zephaniah 1:12, and it shall come to pass that at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their lees. Okay? That this is a mindset that you're in, okay? the mindset that they were in before the flood came. Okay? And I'll prove that in a second. It says that say in their heart, the Lord Yahweh will not do good, neither will he do evil. Okay? That's hubris right there. Okay? That's hubris. Let me see what it oh yeah, Psalms 10, yep. Ezekiel 9, yeah, that's a good one. Ezekiel 8 and 12, it says, Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark, every man in the chambers of his imagery? For they say, The Lord Yahweh seeth us not. The Lord Yahweh hath forsaken the earth. Okay, because there's a period of time where men start to believe in their own belly, okay, themselves, we're gods, or they'll worship something, deaf or dumb, because they haven't been visited by the Lord in a while, okay? And this is the longest period of time the Lord has been away from visiting the earth, showing you that spooky stuff, okay? You get glimpses of it here and there, but hey, the Lord is getting ready to really show himself here, okay? And as it says in Wisdom of Solomon 5, you're going to be amazed at which side he's on. What people is he going to choose and fight and defend, okay? Ezekiel 99, then he said he unto me, the iniquity of the house of Israel and Judah is exceeding great, and the land is full of blood, and the city is full of perverseness. This is where we are now, man. All right? Now, what do you think America is? Okay, and Jake, you embrace this, okay? It says, for they say the Lord Yahweh hath forsaken the earth, and the Lord Yahweh seeth not, okay? So this is what you have. This is what feeds normalcy bias. Thinking that there's no consequences for your action. Okay? And then when you go to Matthew 24, I forget the verse. Let me just put in giving in marriage, but probably be faster. Matthew 24, 38. Okay? For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Okay? Verse 37, but as the days of Noah were, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be. Salakia. Should have read that first, because that is the days that we're in. The Lord is getting ready to come. Do y'all understand what that means? The Lord is getting ready to come back, man. He's getting ready to show his face. Everything we've been prophesying for thousands of years at this point now is really getting ready to take place in this time soon. Okay? Y'all are in that spirit. Thinking the Lord ain't gonna do nothing, man. This is Isaiah 47. Okay? I'm going to just read verse 1 real quick. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne. Why is it called a virgin daughter? Because this place is under the impression that it cannot be touched. This place hasn't fully had its what you call its cherry popped. Okay. And that whole September 1/1, that was all BS. And you see what that did? That shook everybody. Okay, but when it gets real that this place is really under attack, all right, watch this place melt, man. Watch the countenance on these people melt. And I can't wait, man. It's gonna be beautiful, man. We're sick of you people. Okay. It says, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Okay? And it takes a long time for a person to believe that they're tender, they're delicate, they can't be touched. Okay? But this is America's 250th birthday from when they signed that Constitution, at least. And, the 4th of July, it could go there. Okay? It says, verse 2. Actually, I'm going to skip a little bit. It says, let me go down to verse 7. It says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to heart. Oh, it's just whatever. It's over there in Iran. Okay? Sleepers, y'all just fear mongering. Okay? Y'all been talking about the end of the world forever. It ain't happened yet. Okay? It says, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore now hear this, that thou that are given to pleasures, because that's what's really going to yank people out of it. What else is going to do it, man? Okay? Yanking you out of this lackadaisical, lofty, airheaded spirit that y'all are in, man. It's annoying. All right? It says, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, and one day the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries. And that, I'm actually looked that word perfection up. Because we read in Jeremiah 17:10 that he's going to try the reins of men and judge them according to their ways. Okay? So this is going to come up on you in their perfection. Okay? This is Dama. Dama. Okay, what's the root? It's the Tamayam, Salakia. Man, I lost it. Okay, it means integrity, completeness, complete, fullness. Okay. Integrity is used a lot. Okay, and integrity goes into the strength of something. Okay. They shall come up on thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries, man. Okay? In the NLT, it says the loss of children and widowhood shall come up on you in full measure. Okay? The multitude, KJV, the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. Okay? For thou hast trusted in wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge it hath perverted thee. Yeah, you think you know everything, man. Okay? Esau got y'all thinking he can see out there and millions of light years in space. He can see, but he don't know what the hell going on. Making you think he got the answers. Okay? We cracked the human genome and we know this and that. Y'all don't know shit, man. You know what the Lord wants you to know. Okay? And some of the information the Lord allowed you to obtain is going to be a stumbling block unto you people, man. Okay? It says, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it rises. Uh-oh. Now they getting nervous about going to the World Cup. Okay? All right? Now y'all don't know where to look because they've been letting who knows how many people in here for the past several years. Okay? It says, thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Okay, that goes back to that 1 Thessalonians 5. Okay, so when you hear the scriptures repeating things over and over again and as a theme, you know it's gonna be something. Okay. Last precept: stand now with thine enchantments. Verse 12: stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. All right. So this is the Lord being facetious, man. Okay, being sarcastic. Because there is no salvation for you people here, man. America was always set up as an example of what not to be. It's an altar, okay? And y'all are the sacrifice. Okay? The elect, we're praying our sacrifice is accepted, Lord willing, I'm of that number. Okay, so I'm not a part of it, man. Okay? So I'll end it there, man. Lord willing, this is edifying. Call halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rachak Wadash Kwam Yasharallah Abba Babal Shalom.